The problem with prepping ahead of time is that sometimes you forget that you still need to do them until the very last minute. Hello, my lovely friends, it's Margaret. Welcome back to my channel. Today, we are going to be talking about Vault-A-Thon. Specifically, I'm going to be telling you what I am reading and what my recommendations are if you are still trying to fill a last-minute slot on your Vault-A-Thon TBR. If this is your first time hearing about Vault-A-Thon, it is a Disney-themed readathon where every round we focus on a different older or underrated Disney movie. This time around, all of the prompts are themed around The Emperor's New Groove, and the readathon runs from the 21st of March until the 27th. If you want more information about round 9, I suggest checking out the announcement video that I will have linked in the description box. If you are looking for a specific prompt, I have timestamps down below. Feel free to go and check those out and go to wherever you need to on this video. First of the book-related prompts is The Emperor's New Groove, and that is to read a book with two characters that come from completely different backgrounds. To fulfill that prompt, I am going to be reading the Vault-A-Thon group book, Fruit of the Drunken Tree by Ingrid Rojas Contreras. This is about two girls that live in Bogota, Colombia. One of them comes from a very rich, privileged background, and then the other comes from a poorer background. She has been hired to be a maid for the first girl's family. This is the place where I should remind everyone that you can combine prompts. You're going to see me picking a different prompt for each of the book-related prompts, but the group book does fit all 4 of those prompts, and then if you want to like do 2 books or 3 books and see about doubling up, you can. I specifically chose a couple of these books because they fulfill multiple prompts, so if I don't get to all of them, I am not screwed. My recommendations, if you're looking for books with people from 2 completely different backgrounds, I'm gonna say The Sounds of Stars by Alicia Dow was my first recommendation. This is about Ellie and Morris. Ellie is a human, Morris is an alien. He is part of an alien invasion that is trying to take over her planet, but they end up having to work together for various different reasons. This just follows them as they go cross-country, trying to help complete the task that Morris is trying to complete that may have quite a big impact on the future of humanity. This was such a fun book. If you like road trip books, it was wonderful. It's got a lot of representation that I really appreciated, especially since Ellie is Demi, so that was just nice to have in a book and to be able to look at someone describe their sexuality and have it exactly meet how I feel. I have reread this twice. This was actually a previous Vault-A-Thon group book, and it's just, it's so good to read. And also, Ellie is a book nerd, so she's the best. She's my favorite. The other book that I want to shout out is a brand new fave, and that's the wrong book. That moment when you accidentally grab the sequel instead of the first book. Okay, let's try this again. The next book that I'm going to recommend is We Hunt the Flame by Hafsa Fazel. The 2 main characters in this, we have Nasir, who is an assassin. He is the Sultan's son. He is known as the Prince of Death, and so he's always going around offing people. And he doesn't like it, but he has to do it for reasons. And then we have Zafira, she's known as the Hunter of Demenhoon. Nobody actually knows that it's her that's doing it, but she's been secretly hunting in this magical, secluded forest that no one else can go in without going mad. She's been hunting in there, bringing back food for her village, and she ends up being taken off on this journey because apparently she is the key to bringing magic back to Arawia. Just the angst in this series, if you like romantic tension and angst, and the second book had me so stressed. I loved it. I love how rich this world is. I love the characters. Hafsa Fazel has just such a wonderful cast of characters in this book. There's this little found family going on, and it's just they are all so much fun to deal with. And if you are someone who likes banter, you're just really going to enjoy Altair. That's really what you're if you like the wise ass who can just literally eviscerate anyone through a well-placed sarcastic comment, you will fall in love with this man. All right, the second prompt is These Hills Sing, and that is to read a book by a South American author. I am going to be reading Colombia, Fragmented Land, Divided Society by Frank Safford and Marco Palacios. Since we were reading Fruit of the Drunken Tree, and I don't know a lot about what has happened in Colombia, I wanted to make sure that I had a pretty solid, or not pretty solid, but an introductory kind of look at what has gone on. I looked through 7 different books. This really seemed to fit that bill. I don't expect to finish the entire book during the week because this is a very, look at how packed that page is with text. I have a feeling that this is going to just, like, it's going to take some of my brain power to read, but you know what? That's effort that I am willing to put in. Now, for this prompt, I actually don't have any recommendations that I can give you because sadly I am very lacking, not just in translated fiction, but specifically in South American authors that I have read. So I will link down below one of the articles that I found compiling different South American authors. The third prompt is Bring It On, and that is to read a book about two different people working together towards a common goal. I will be reading City of the Beasts by Isabel Allende. This seems like some sort of like fantasy set in South America. It's about a boy who travels down there with his mom. I think, I can't remember. Is it his mom? Is it his mom? How to be a booktuber, number 1. Always forget the summary of the plot that you just read 2 minutes ago. Oh, it's his grandmother. Nice. Okay. I like this. They are traveling for International Geographic. Real subtle there, Isabel. Real subtle. His grandmother has been hired to write an article for this magazine, and they are going with an anthropologist and his daughter. And then the two kids, I think, end up brought into like almost like a mystical or mythical situation. It sounds like it might be like slightly Portal fantasy-ish, where like they go out into the jungle and like find like a little, I don't know, like a TARDIS. They end up somewhere that it's bigger on the inside. I think this sounds really fun. I've actually had this on my TBR. I didn't realize it was Isabel Allende when I put this on my TBR, but I've also been really wanting to read Isabel Allende because I've heard so many good things about her. So this is going to be fun. So my first recommendation for if you're looking, oh my god, my foot has gone to sleep. Hold on, this is what happens when you turn 30. My first recommendation for this one is going to be Wicked Fox by Kat Cho. This is about Gumiho. Gumiyoung. This is about Gumiyoung. I know characters' names. This is about Miyoung and Jihoon, and they are two Korean teenagers with a twist because Miyoung is actually a fox spirit. Like, she is a mythical creature, fox thing. She's a gumiho. She has to eat the souls of men to survive. She's not okay with that. Kind of doesn't like it, but that's her basic existence, how she survives. She has to make sure that like at least once a month she consumes someone's soul. And then Jihoon is just your typical average teenager trying to get through high school, and he ends up running into a dokebi, and Miyoung has to save his life, and her fox speed, which is her soul, gets knocked out of her, and then they're both like, well, we've got to fix this situation that has been created. If you like K-dramas, Kat like really just like went hard with this, putting in some of the K-drama tropes, so it's just fun. I love this book so much. There will be a full review up in that corner and also linked in the description box if you want more information on this one, but like just highly recommend. It is just, I just enjoy it. I just realized that this is like the Ride or Die podcast recommendations hour because I also have Ghost Squad by Claribel A. Ortega. This is so freaking adorable. This is a middle grade set in St. Augustine, and it's about Lucely and her friend Sid, and they accidentally end up releasing some ghosts. Like, Lucely lives in a house where her family just kind of hangs out as ghosts, and because she is a kid, she's able to see them and interact with them, so she's basically grown up with, like, family members that have died still being a part of her family, which I absolutely adore. However, like, there's some stuff that starts threatening them. They start feeling like they start getting sick, which is weird because they're not alive anymore. And so Lucely tries to fix that, and in fixing that, she creates a much bigger problem. I love this one because it made a really good, like, there's a really good connection between why the two girls are the ones that have to fix this problem, but also them still going to adults for help. I think that the way that Claribel balanced those two things and made it reasonable, or made the reason why the girls are the ones that have to fix it instead of like the adults taking charge, there was a really good reasoning behind why that was happening. I also just like love the main characters. They are so much fun. This is just like a fun, spooky kind of, I don't get spooked very easily, but I have been told it's slightly spooky ghost story set in St. Augustine, where her family does ghost tours, because they do those in St. Augustine. I have been there. I did not go on the ghost tour, but I have been there, and it is gorgeous. It's a gorgeous city. I've been to the Castillo de San Marcos. The final prompt is boom, baby, and that is to read a book with loud covers on the color. If English is not your first language and you ever feel embarrassed that you got a word wrong, just remember this moment. You're supposed to read a book with loud colors on the cover. Word. I am going to be reading Nocturna by Maya Motain. This has been on my physical TBR for the longest time. I keep being like, this is the time that I am going to read Nocturna. This is the time that I am going to read Nocturna. I have gotten my hands on an audiobook. This is about a girl that has face-stealing magic and a prince that is trying to bring his brother back. This is like the princess, like it's the princess and the thief's trope, but like switched around. So I'm ready for it. I'm like, oh, that's one of my favorite tropes. I love it when you have like the Aladdin trope, basically. Making room for more books. Hold on. The first one I have is Where the Rhythm Takes You by Sarah Doss. This is a retelling of Persuasion, and it is really, really good. This is about Reina. She and her family live in Tobago, and they have a hotel that her mother started or inherited. I can't remember how her mom got it, but like that was her mother's hotel, and her mom is now gone. She's there minding her own business, trying to help run this hotel, trying to get ready for when she turns 18, is like gonna start taking things over, all of that good stuff. And then this group of famous people comes in, and among those famous people is her ex-boyfriend Aiden, who she just basically cut all contact off with, and so it's awkward. This is fantastic. It was so well, like, just, I loved this as a retelling of Persuasion because it was done really well. I liked how Sarah Doss translated the parts of Persuasion that really make Persuasion the story that it is, and then added a little bit of her own thing in Reina's storyline and what she is dealing with and the questions and struggles that she is going through at the time that during this book. So highly recommended. I really enjoyed it. And the final one is quite possibly like one of the cutest, most just heartwarming covers that I own, and that's I'll Be the One by Lila Lee. This is about Sky, and she has entered into this K-pop competition where she is going to be entering in both the singing and the dancing portion of the competition. There are a lot of people that don't think she should do that because she is plus size, and they don't think that a girl like her should be up around jumping and dancing on the stage, despite the fact that she is very, very good at it. She kind of is just like, you know, I'm just gonna keep doing what I want to be doing, and I'm going to, you know, screw you if you don't like it. I'm happy with who I am. I love the fact that her struggle was more about like getting other people to acknowledging her worth rather than her having to discover her own sense of self-worth. I loved her. I thought the romance was cute, and it just like this, it made me feel like I was full of sunshine inside when I finished this book. It was so good. That is what I am reading and what I will be recommending. I hope that helped some of y'all out in finding a new book, even if it's not for Vaultathon. Like, stick it on your TBR for later anyways, because that's what TBRs are. They're just there to hold all of the books that we don't want to forget that we want to read, but then proceed to forget that we want to read. I'm only making fun of myself in this case, but if the shoe fits and you feel attacked by it, maybe you should do some self-reflection too. If you are feeling chatty, go ahead and let me know what the next book you plan on picking up is. I don't care like whether you're participating in Vaultathon or not. I just want to know what you're planning on picking up next. If you are not feeling chatty, you can leave me a hippo emoji. That's only going to make sense to some people, but if you know, you know. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also, if you enjoyed this video, I will have other videos over here that you can check out. I will have the latest announcement round Vaultathon thing up here, and then whatever is newest on my channel right here. That is it for now, my friends. Happy reading, and I will see you later when we will talk about more wordy, nerdy things. Bye! I love it when my writing just like right in the middle of filming. This is embarrassing. Her world is named Mundo. It's literally like world. I love it.